where they're getting 2 3-man
Hey,
leaps
Dylan.
along with 2
Good luck.
3-man burns from the flame breath, right?
Yes, and of course, AoE on the Hunter squad is never helpful for keeping yourselves alive.
So
We're going to get into the match in just a moment.
it is going to be the JSMS Hunter team versus the Dildozers Monster. And who's playing the Dildozers Monster again?
Of course, it's probably going to be Dylan Frey, as always. Dylan Frey, well-practiced Goliath. We saw him play earlier, and I have seen him play a couple other monsters as well if those monsters need to be pulled out. But Kraken was banned, so Dylan Frey is not going to be playing Kraken. He instead is going to be rocking Goliath. And, of course, he could just pull a 180 on everyone, really surprise the Hunter squad of JSMS and pull out possibly a Bob, a Wraith. We'll see. But right now, he will be playing Goliath against what I think is a pretty decent team comp. Slim and Maggie have a great amount of CC. Going to want to stay out of those Spore Clouds and those Harpoons. And of course, if there's someone to help keep Slim alive, it's going to be Hank. Slim's got some great AoE healing, recently slightly buffed. So let's see what they can do. Slim was taken in place of Val, who was banned. Of course, I think they would have picked Val if it came to that, if Val was available, but she was banned in this upcoming match. Usually we're seeing Kraken's banned. The only time we see Meteor Goliath being banned is against the Animate Unknown Goliath player, and that's because their squad, that particular team, does not have multiple monsters playing. It's only Deanimate who is competent in playing Goliath. So the thing is, if they got, say, a squad with a Kraken, a Wraith player, and a Goliath, that'd make it a lot more difficult for them to pick Hunters up against. So just a thought if you guys want to enter in the next open bracket qualifiers, which are going to be next week. If you have multiple monster players on your team, that'll give you a huge edge. I think much more so than some of these teams realize.
Being very interesting to see. We are, of course, going in with Dylan Fry of Medic. I'm sorry, not Medic. Wow, on Monster. But one thing that's very interesting to note is the history of Slim and the way that he's been working. When he was first released, his AoE healing was the best in the game.
He was a god.
He was a god. He was the king of, like, as soon as he was
Yeah,
released and they figured it out.
70% win rate.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like something like that.
So it's interesting to see that he's come around. He got nerfed a little hard, but he's coming back up now. He's starting to get more popularity. So we'll see how he gets played this game. But looking at the skill build, we are seeing, again, the standard build from both the Animate and Dylan. We're looking at 1 leap, 1 fire breath, 1 charge as they're going through into this game, trying to get as much meats and farm as possible, as quick as possible. Already getting shocked, though. He was revolted away by that food, but it's not enough to keep him off it. We are looking at, however, on the perk side, we are looking again at movement speed being the choice for Goliaths, which is something that's key because they want to be able to use their mobility and get themselves up to stage 3. Mobility is such a key factor in keeping yourself away from a Maggie or any other trapper, is being able to run and use it, because that way you don't have to burn your traversals as much and you can use them at key timings. As long as you use your traversals at the right moments in order to traverse from one high point to another, you can get maximum distance without having to worry about climbing or any of that. So when you look at that, but also if you look at the Hunter team, we have Jetpack Recharge being chosen by Mini as opposed to a movement speed choice. And then if you look at the rest of the team, we have movement speed on the Trapper, aka Maggie, which is being played by Dead Rebirth, of course. And that's to counteract the movement speed choice by Dylan Fry. And then we have capacity on Hank, which again is kind of standard. He wants to be able to get more of these blocks off, be able to protect his Hunter team from taking too much damage while Slim's healing them. And then, of course, we have damage reduction on Slim. That way he can heal himself and keep himself alive throughout anything the monster does at stage 1, and possibly most of it at stage 2, without the shields being a factor, which means Hanks can be on offense during the first couple domes. Right now we are looking at a stealth, being able to get himself past Dead Rebirth, putting him at 170 meters and gaining distance fast while stealth as he's going through with this movement speed perk. Pings are coming out and they're actually in the wrong direction, so they don't know where he is. They're just going off of what they saw earlier, and they're just saying to check everywhere, trying to look for this. Dylan Fry, however, was able to juke, and they're just trying to do everything they can. More of these pings saying that he's going around the west, but actually he's up in the north, just kind of stealthing his way around and getting his distance. He's almost at full evolve meter, and he just taking his time because of the stealth. He needed to slow down his eating in order to make sure he was able to get this distance.
And that distance is totally worth it because this is pretty much the farthest he could possibly be from the Hunter squad. They are on complete opposite ends of the map right now.
I wonder what the total distance is right now in between the two.
It's got to be at least 250, I'm going to guess.
412 meters.
Wow. Yeah, that
from the
was
farthest
much
one.
from the Trapper, 250.
280, close enough. Good guess.
Right. All right,
Good
fair
guess.
enough. I don't. We here in America don't use meters, so it's a little bit hard to judge. But Dylan Frey taking the stage 2. There is absolutely no chance that they are going to get the dome on him out of the evolve. He's going to have full armor coming up. 3 leap, 2 flame, 1 charge. A little bit different of a Goliath set than Deanimate, who just went 3 leap and then 1 in everything else. He's spreading out his abilities, but not taking rock, which is going to nerf his long range capabilities. Of course, Goliath's rock is really his only ranged ability.
I think that's more of a response to what he's seeing on the lineup right now. He does see that it is a slim Hank, so it's going to be very reliant on not only Spore Clouds, but shields as well. And the Rock's not going to help him. He doesn't really need range. He's going to be right up in front of them with the Spore Clouds. But with the Flame being used on during the Spore Clouds, he'll be able to get a better outline on where he's seeing them, which makes it easier for him to aim. So I think that's more so where he's going with that. But again, it's still an interesting choice to get rid of that long-range artillery shot, which you can use to interrupt.
He did not just sneak past Mini right there, did he? How did he alert those birds? He's sneaking right there. He juked Mini so hard right there. They were within 5 feet of each other, and he just snuck right past. That was beautiful. What a tasty little obsidian grub right there if he wants to grab that.
Oh, that's a quick little protein snack.
Still trying to track him right there.
Nice little granola bar.
I'm not sure if they taste like granola bars. I don't know. I don't eat random things just laying around that I kill on the planet Sheer, but, you know, if it tastes like a granola bar to you and you like it and you're a monster player, I mean, by all means, I'm not going to judge you for what you eat. And the dome is up and online, and the Mazzle!
Just barely missing, just getting himself through that distance, and he's able to get through that just insanely quick. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I talked to perfectly timed traversals. When they're in that dome, there is such a slim time frame that you can leap through it. Right now, it's less than a second. So it's such a critical moment that you have to know exactly when they're throwing that dome. And that was a perfectly timed traversal usage by Dylan Frey with the traversal and the movement speed coming into effect there, getting him through there, which means dome's going to be on cooldown for a little while. It's only at about 1/3 right now on reload.
Recharge, I'm really wondering how Dylan Frey is managing to juke them this much with Daisy on the team. I almost completely forgot that Daisy is pointing these hunters directly towards the monsters.
You know what you and I haven't done?
What?
Follow the Daisy, Daisy, follow the Daisy.
Follow the Daisy.
Follow the Daisy, Daisy, follow the Daisy.
Follow the Daisy. Is she going up?
Down. But yeah, so that's Daisy. She is something to help you if you're in a pub game and you're not sure where the monster is. You can always use Daisy to try and help you. She is a little derpy sometimes, but in this case, it probably would have been helpful. But again, Dylan Frey did such a great job using that stealth, came into effect, and it's just doing everything he can to get distance. He's even jumping outside the map right now as he is beyond the map boundary, just trying to get as much distance and using the waterfront and the acid just to get everything he can. But they do know where he is. Mini's coming out with the pings, is keeping him on. He's not going to let him sneak by him anymore, and he's like, you know what? It's time for me to just gut you down with my minigun. I'm not even going to melt your face. I'm going to chop it up into little pieces with bullets. That's what he's looking at right now,
So the dome is off cooldown, and Dead Rebirth should be closing in on him any second. Ooh, there's a very dangerous chomp plant right next to him. Daisy's got to be showing him where he's at. When I play Maggie, because I play Trapper for DTP, I almost completely forget that Daisy is on the team until she's reviving someone, just because I never rely on her for tracking the monster. But Daisy is just not helping him out right now, and they finally got a catch right here.
And even Mammoth Bird's joining in on the fun, though. And they even gave him a little bit of a shot, getting rid of the first bar of armor, helping the Hunter team out, which is nice. Charge is coming in. Flame Breaths are being used. Dead Rebirth is on the run, trying to get healed, and they're going to be doing that right now. Even another Mammoth Bird slapping up Dylan Frey as he goes right around the corner. So they're going to be looking to get in. Mini's on the high ground with that minigun on the ready, chopping right through. Pow, 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 coming right on through it. Bullets are being done. Armadon on the low ground. Flame Breath, Toxic Grenade, everything being thrown. Spore Clouds. Like, they're just doing everything they can to deal damage, and they're only through 3 bars now of armor with 2 bars from the Mammoth versus trying to deal damage. Dylan's doing an excellent job mitigating, using cover to his advantage as he's just trying to protect himself, taking care of food every time he can. And Orbital Barrage being thrown just barely misses. Oh, no, he gets it. One shot does connect, so that's going to take down another armor.
Man, this is such a large opening right here for the Hunters to jump around, and they couldn't even get half of his armor down right there. Dylan Frey is going to escape, and he actually managed to eat in that dome. So if he wasn't already the stage before going into that dome, he is now. And
that's
he's on the run.
just great situational awareness from Dylan, knowing exactly where he can eat due to cover, killing his food there, grabbing a quick meat here and there, and then going and rotating between covers in order to make sure that he was able to get it. And now we have Rebirth right now looking to traverse across the map, putting his harpoon traps down, as we're going to have to see what they do to try and get their space.
They might decide to just set up right now. I see the harpoons going down at the relay. They might decide that, hey, chasing him right now, dome's on cooldown. He is absolutely ready to stage. He was ready to stage at the start of the dome, and he ate in the middle of the dome, so that just makes it 110% sure that he is ready to hit stage 3, and they are going to set up near the landing pad pipe area over here.
It's going to be 3 rock, though, for stage 3. So that's a good upgrade on your abilities. We mentioned the artillery being used and that he was choosing to not need it at stage 3. He just chose to invest all 3 points at stage 3, which means that he won't have a small AoE rock like he would have had stage 2. Instead, now he has that insanely large AoE on the rock, so which is good AoE damage along with the good damage from just... You're hurling a boulder at someone. You're not tossing barrels like Donkey Kong. You're literally hurling a rock at someone.
Pebble, rock, boulder. That's what it should be if you put 1, 2, or 3 points into it. Pebbles, rocks, and boulders. Although, let's be honest, if I were to get hit in the face by a stage 1 rock, just 1 point rock, I think that would kill me. I don't know how these hunters can tank those things. I'm pretty sure I would just straight up explode.
Maybe it's like a planet, like a sheer planet thing where they just have the ability to tank rocks. Maybe rocks are thinner, maybe they're like styrofoam.
Oh yeah, I could take a styrofoam rock to the face.
Exactly.
Not that I want to, but Slim is taking styrofoam rock to the face right now. And the shields managed to protect him right there. He's in a little bit of trouble though. Hank's shields are going to be on recharge because he took that entire rock. And that's Slim out of the game. And they didn't even break half his armor once again. Daisy going for the res, actually doing something helpful right now. Daisy dies, you all die though, and Daisy's looking pretty low. Slim down on his back right now. Dead Rebirth actually wasn't going to go for the res right there. I thought he was. And Daisy still trying to get up to him. We got the punish coming in from Hyde finally, and the shields from the monster. The armor is finally gone. And it's up to Hank to keep this team alive in the dome. But Medic dies, you all die. I have no idea what this hard squad can do in this situation. The monster has way too much health. You know, more so in today than any other time I've seen. Monsters are making it to stage 3 unscratched. That I've not seen so much before. Dead Rebirth chaining the monster, but is he holding the monster down or is the monster holding him down at this point? Hyde goes down. Hank taking a solid hit right there from the Leaf Smash, and the Flame follows it up. Dead Rebirth, last one alive. He didn't lower the dome soon enough, though, and that's going to be a solid W by Dylan Frey. Taking the win with only about 2.5 bars of health lost right there. Slim went down so unbelievably quickly in that dome. They just did not stand a chance, and they couldn't even tactically retreat because the monster would have beat down the relay right there without Slim to help keep them up. So they lost their medic super fast right there. They didn't get any caps in the early game, didn't get any caps in the mid game, and the monster just came back full health, full armor at stage 3 and just decided to demolish them right there.
And it just coming through, like you're looking at the health and everything that's being done. Damage done was only 4,000, and that's damage done through health, like after armor. So that's health damage that was done. Yeah. That doesn't include armor damage because they did some good armor damage just throughout the game, but it just wasn't enough. And Dylan, as we just casted 2 games with Deanimate, I'm still having him on the brain. We're looking at Dylan coming through, and he's just mitigating so well and using stealths to their advantage. That's something that we're starting to see more of now with these changes. It does put the current score at 2-1 now, so we're going to have to see what Dylan Frey does in Game 2. Maybe he stays with the movement speed perk to give himself that ability to traverse the map, but we'll have to see what they do to counteract this. We'll probably see a switch up on some of the hunters from JSMS as they're going through into the next game because they want to be able to get the next win, because that'll give them the 3-1 lead.
We are playing to the first of 3, best of 5, ladies and gentlemen. The Dildozers is down by 1 point, but they did just score their first point in that previous match. Can they take it home, take it back? They are playing for seeding right now, so both teams are in TGL, but that number 5 seed could be the difference between having lots of spare change and having not so much spare change, because the TGL prize pool is fairly notable at $1,750, I believe I saw it at last. It's nearing 2,000.
It's getting there. It's almost there.
Big pot. Yeah, that's a solid amount of cash for you to put in your pocket if you manage to win TGL. And for those of you who want to get in on the action, if you want a piece of that prize pool, we have one more qualifiers next week on Saturday. Should be the same time, playing for the 7th and 8th seed. after that, all 8 qualifying teams will have been selected for the TGL tournament. So I know during TGL Season 1, when I was casting, a lot of people said, hey, Nikki, I want to get in on TGL. Let me slap together a team. Let me get a piece of that prize pool.